But as far as what we're playing today, this is a Jeskai version of the Boros Stoneblade deck we've been playing. I've obviously been a big fan of this like red-white based Stoneblade deck with Fervent Champion. This card's been super duper impressive, and we've been talking a lot on the stream about like trying to find other versions of this deck, and I haven't like completely reinvented the wheel here, which is in my opinion smart not to like completely change everything because that Boros deck's been performing really well. But the big idea here is that we're playing Spreading Seas over Blood Moon, because we don't have a density of red cards for Fury. We need to play Teferi Time Raveler kind of instead of that card. And then Dovin's Veto helps us a lot against the spell-based combo decks like Belcher, which this deck struggles against the most. This deck really struggles against those decks. And so that is the idea. And then also like Spreading Seas helps you cover your big mana matchups and your Urza Saga matchups. Kind of like the Blood Moons we're doing too. So, while also being, making the deck a bit more grindy as well. Yeah, I had a pretty good weekend. You guys are gonna be pissed maybe when you hear that I played I played only 4 leagues on Sunday. I played only 4 leagues on Sunday and I got 3 trophies. Sometimes you just run well. Alright, let's mulligan this. Alright, guess we keep this on 6. Go back second to Teferi. Yeah, I agree that the list looks pretty clean. This is actually my first league with this deck, this version. We've talked about this a little bit. Like, I don't usually like to like play untested lists on stream, but one, like this is like, we've been playtesting the Boros version a lot, and I'm really excited that I finally got this version together. I've been working really hard on trying to find a different playable version of this deck, and I finally got a list together that I like, which is this list. So, just kind of excited to play it. They've dressed down? Remand? What? What? Oh, must be creativity. Yeah, it must be creativity. Could go double 1-drop here. I think that's a bit better against, another remand. Worse against Fire Ice, though. And then if they do get an Archon in play, I could potentially balance it with Teferi. I was challenged. Not very well. Yeah. Oof. Well, we do get to draw a card off that. Not a land still. Okay, let's discard Spreading Seas and concede if I don't draw a blue source. Okay, that was not on the list of cards I would not concede with, but I think I'll keep playing. I feel like I really want this Ranger Captain so I can grab another Fervent Champ for the swords and stuff. Just so they don't have another creativity. And I think I'm getting another sword because I've got the Ranger Captain for the Fervent Champ. It's kind of close. Smith, thank you for the 6 months. Appreciate you, buddy. Welcome, Yeti. 5 cards in their hand. Oof. Okay, probably dead. I'll take a draw. I feel like even if I draw another Solitude, we are... big toast. Alright, trophies of the weekend 5. I said this earlier. You guys might be kind of pissed. I don't know. I only played 4 leagues yesterday. I walked away with 3 trophies. It was crazy. I do feel like that time slot, the Sunday's time slot, Sunday morning time slot, is like the softest. Those are the softest matches you play all week. So I definitely was woke up early to farm a little bit, but also ran very hot. Yeah, that's the softest time of the week for sure. I don't know why exactly. Like Saturday is like more competitive than Sunday, but for whatever reason Sunday morning is just like really soft. Harvard Yard, 27 months. Let's go. Yeah. Also, when you play off stream, nobody can ever see my hand, which has its value for sure. What was I playing? All red black. Hangover from Saturday? A little bit, yeah. I was playing some D&D. My character is a bit of a scoundrel, shall we say. So I was in character. Yeah, all the good players are at church. It's funny. Okay. Good. Scary crab. Although we get to get in for a decent chunk here. Let's get a Steam Vince here. Grail, thank you for the 12 months. Happy anniversary. Let's go. Still under a trophy per day to the record. We have 6 trophies to break the record, and we have 9 days to do it. So we're actually ahead of pace now. For the first time, I feel like I'm above 50% to break the record. 6 trophies in 9 days is still really tough to do. I don't want to get that twisted at all. That's still like, land would be great here. No land. Did I play the Forge-Tender? I think I like playing the Forge-Tender. I'm like so cold to Fire Ice here if I don't. Yeah, it's like 6 trophies in 9 days is a very tough pace to set, but it does feel doable, and we've been keeping that pace for a while. Show, thank you for Twitch Prime. Appreciate you, buddy. Okay, a little late, I feel, on this land. Opponent's not tapped out anymore. Let's go ahead and get into combat here. My opponent might have, like, Prismari command here. Yeah, my spoiler card was Lion Sash. Lion Sash. So, I don't really feel like I can go for Teferi here, since they have the Clue token and the Crab. It's just like so easy for them to, if they just have, you know, land plus creativity, they get an Archon. So I think I need to hold up this Dovin's Veto. Have we seen the Yu-Gi-Oh preview card or the blue land? I didn't know there was a Yu-Gi-Oh preview card. I did see the blue land. The blue land's pretty cool. We'll be talking about it a bunch. That card's obviously good though. Okay. Another copy of Fervent Champion. I think I'm going to go for Teferi, bounce the Crab. Drawing a land there would have been pretty nice, red land, but I think we just have to hope they don't have another polymorph effect. If they do, it's going to be a pretty quick loss. And they sack the Clue token. Let's go. They sack the Clue token. Make another Dwarf, but they can't get an Archon into play here, and they should be dead to the sword. I guess they could have killed Teferi with the Dwarf, but they did not. Even beating a Shark Typhoon here. Alright, win game 2. Awesome. I think I'm just resubmitting here. Let's just resubmit. Yeah, I feel really good being sitting at 67. I'm really trying to not get very comfortable and blow a 7 trophy lead with 9 days left. Meninone is a madman, is an absolute monster, and so I'm trying so hard not to blow the lead. Just I can relax in 9 days. Maybe we'll do a Dark Souls stream or something, or my like first playthrough of Bloodborne or something. They got you the same as you did this weekend. I guess I'm confused by the phrasing of that. I got 5 over the weekend, 1 Friday, 1 Saturday, if you count Friday or not. Well, I got 1 Friday, 1 Saturday, then 3 on Sunday. Ooh. I think I'll just cast the Forge-Tender and pass. Jude, I think with Twitch Prime, appreciate you. Yeah, notably, I have played, like... Oh, Meninone just got one. Golly. Meninone is an absolute mad lad. An absolute beast. Certainly, like, we are not... we have a lead, but Meninone is definitely capable of just swooping in and crushing that lead at a moment's notice. Yeah, the sun never sets in Brazil. Oh no, I can't quite hardcast the Typhoon. I think I get another Fervent Champ so these two can go together. I could Dovin's veto this. I think I'll just let the remand happen. Probably a bit better. Bio Prodigy, thank you for 2 months. Appreciate you. Yeah, Menino Nate does stream. Maybe we can get a shout out for him in the chat if we have a mod available. Crab. Crab's actually like very good here, stopping the Ragavan. I almost want to Solitude it. Let's see what we draw. Okay, we'll Teferi bounce it. And then if they remand this, it's like a bit weird. I guess they also have the Dwarven Mine token. But it looks like they're going for a fetch shock here. Spell Pierce. Well, I think it's an easy decision to pay for this. Because then I just get to bounce the crab that I get to hold up veto. Forge-Tender. Yeah, so it's my first match with the blue sideboard, or the blue cards, not just the sideboard, but I feel like the Dovin's Vetoes, the Spreading Seas, the Teferis are all like really good here, and you know, we'll just figure out if this is the way to go after some playtesting, of course. Yeah, this is a matchup. I mean, I played a decent amount of this matchup. It was okay, but these are the kinds of matchups that the blue sideboard cards really improve, which is nice. I guess we veto this. I still have Solitude, the answer in Archon. One card, or one mana, 3 cards in hand. I'm probably gonna Ranger-Captain sack this turn. So I can offer the trade of Ragavan for Dwarf token. Fervent plus Sophie. Yeah, that's probably better. We can Solitude the token too. Although, like, I'm a bit concerned about them having another. A creativity plus another Dwarven Mine. Although I get to kill this dwarf. Yeah, so yeah, never mind. I get to kill this dwarf, so I can Solitude just the other dwarf token. That should be fine then. Yeah. Was that a Blood Crypt I saw while I was fetching for ending? There's not a Blood Crypt in this deck unless I accidentally put it in there. I only have 1 ending main, and then I have 3 more on the sideboard, so like I'm not really that interested in like playing an off-color shock for the ending. Okay. I guess I had a free attack with the Ragavan because if they blocked, they're going to block the Ragavan every time. But I do get to kill the token with first strike damage. Okay, it's very still around. Yeah, I think we're going to be 1-0 on the day as well. I'm pretty excited about this list. You know, we've been talking a lot about this idea of playing like the Boros shell, splashing a color. We've been talking about Naya and Mardu, and Jeskai, and like I think the real thing with Jeskai is that you can't really play counterspell in this list. It's just I think you can, but your mana gets really bad when you're trying to go white and red on turn 1 into counterspell on turn 2 into double white on turn 3. Your mana sucks, and you're not like that good at holding up counter magic in this deck anyways. You play so much in like the first 3 turns at sorcery speed, so I feel like the Spreading Seas and Teferis with veto side is the way to go for the blue splash. Magical, thank you for the 18 months. Appreciate you, buddy. I would like to playtest this off stream, but I just finally got this version to a point where I feel like it looks really good, and we're just kind of live testing today. Usually I like to do this kind of stuff off stream, but if I think it's good enough, we can do it on stream. Sorry, not today.
No.
Yeah, I had too much milk for me lately.
Oh.
Yeah.
I was like, too much coffee?
Yeah, too much milk.
Never not too much coffee.
Yeah, never too much coffee. I think I get Sacred Foundry. I was kind of thinking about getting Basic Mountain here. Is there one new counterspell I'd debate playing in a deck like this? I mean, There's always Mana Leak. It's not a card I like that much, though. So we do have Ragavan on the play against Tron. Tron has been really popular lately. We do have, again, the 4 main deck Spreading Seas. Don't have any of them in this hand. Maybe I could just steal a card in the Great Creator with Ragavan next turn. I'm going to obviously play this Ranger Captain, and I think I just grabbed Fervent Champ. I'm excited to play Lion Sash. Yeah, I'm excited for Lion Sash. Cool to get to play with my first ever preview card. Ranger Captain will probably get sacked if they have Tron next turn, which I imagine they will. Yeah. Is Tron strong? It's popular, and like I think Tron is becoming popular because the 4-color Omnath deck has become popular, and Tron has a very good matchup against 4-color Omnath. Okay, I think I'm not playing the Fervent Champion. This way I could hit a Karn the Great Creator off Ragavan, which is one of my main ways to win this game. Okay, I'll play a 2-2 Ballista. 2-2 Ballista, upkeep sack the Ranger Captain, I think. Maybe I should wait a turn on that. Since I have Solitude for Wormcoil Engine, and if my opponent plays Karn Liberated, I'm not like necessarily that scared of it this turn. Isn't Sash a little slow as Graveyard Hate? Well, it kind of depends. Like, one thing about Sash is that it's super main deckable compared to a lot of other Graveyard Hate. It's also tutorable. It also, like, is just, like, a very powerful card. Exiling fetch lands to grow is like, really, really special, I think. But, of course, nobody can give you perfect information on a card they haven't played with. Okay, I have a Prismatic Ending for that. They can't pop it this turn. 5. Do I just have lethal, though? I have 5, 6, 7, 8. I have 10 damage here. Why is Fervent Champion this deck? Well, I don't know if you've seen the Boros version. I imagine you haven't if you're asking that question. But I've been playing a Boros version of this deck that plays Fervent Champion, and just like being a 1-mana creature with haste that equips to equips a sword to itself for 0 mana is it's very strong. And then you have 4 Fervent Champions and 4 Ranger Captains, and then you have 4 Stoneforge Mystics and 3 Swords, so it's like really easy to assemble that combo. Okay, I'll take the Okay, yeah, I was thinking that if we find exactly Spreading Seas, we'd want to Spreading Seas this turn instead of pop the Prismatic Ending. Although maybe we still want an Ending, because if we choose wrong on the Spreading Seas and they just have the other Tron piece, we're kind of dead. Because they still get to pop the O-Stone. So we can Spreading Seas the Power Plant, play Sentinel, upkeep pop Ranger Captain, or we can Prismatic Ending the O-Stone and upkeep pop Ranger Captain. But if we upkeep pop Ranger Captain, we're like really cold to Urza's Tower Ulamog. Yeah, I think that like I like they have to have exactly Urza's Tower plus Ulamog, where we can beat a Wormcoil because we've got the Solitude. So then I have to think if I want to play the Sentinel or if I want to play Hold Up as a white card for Solitude. Oh, sorry, I thought I had one extra mana. Okay. My opponent says yikes. That's probably a good sign for me. What's my best advice for someone fairly new to Modern? I would recommend going to mtggoldfish.com, looking at all the decks in Modern, finding one that's interesting to you, and then playing it somehow. Either proxying it and playing with your friends, getting a rental service to play it on Magic Online, just figuring out a way to play it, and then see if you like it. And then I think it's usually pretty likely when you're they have a Ballista, or they just can't play anything with Ranger Captain. Awesome to win that game. Sorry, find a deck that you like or that you are interested in and just play it. Learn while you're playing, make mistakes. Ideally get someone that knows what they're doing to tell you what mistakes you're making. And then in that process, you might play against a deck that you think is more interesting. And when that happens, I recommend switching to that deck. And I think a lot of new players come in and they ask me, Spike, what's an easy deck I can play to learn Modern? Or like what's the easiest deck to play? And I think that's fine. I think, a lot of people are scared of seeming new and making a lot of mistakes because they're new. But I would really recommend having no fear of making mistakes because you're new. I would really recommend, let me play the Maul over Third Sword, actually. Just going in, making a lot of mistakes, and, learning a lot as you go. And, just not worry about being new. I guess maybe Third Sword's better than Batterskull, though. Yeah, I think Maul's can be my out to Wormcoil Engine, just flying over it. Maul/Kaldra. How do we feel about this hand? Well, it's Mold to 6. I think I feel okay about it. It's a little slow, but we can maybe assemble Feast of Famine on the Sentinel, keep up Dovin's Veto. Unlikely to be good enough on the draw, maybe, but I feel like this hand has like a lot of upside. Castle draw Spreading Seas. Opponent's mulliganing, so they could have like turn 4 Tron, which would be pretty good against here. So I gotta get the tunes. Might get to draw some cards off Sentinel too, of course. If you cast Seas, they couldn't Ulamog. Yeah, I maybe you misunderstood what we were debating there, but it's Spreading Seas did play around Ulamog, obviously, but what it didn't play around was them. Whichever Tron land we Spreading Seas, if they have that land in hand, they can pop the Oblivion Stone and we lose. And so that's why we Prismatic Ending the Oblivion Stone and then sacked Ranger-Captain, because at that point, the only thing we lost to was Urza's Tower plus Ulamog. And so I thought that was fun. I thought that was better to play around than them having just any Tron land, because... Or specifically the Tron land we Spreading Seas, because that, plays around... it just makes them have more cards. If that makes sense. Interesting. My opponent tutored Blast Zone, so they must just have Natty Tron. Do I hold up Veto here? I feel like I can't afford to just hold up Veto. That Blast Zone's pretty concerning, though. I think I'll just play Stoneforge Mystic, grab Feast and Famine. Maybe try to settle this in the play-in game 3. King Jester, 5 months, appreciate you. It's actually worse if that's your line. You're playing as a 3-outer instead of playing around as a 4-outer. I don't understand. Sorry. Clock with 21 months, appreciate you. It's either way it's a 3-outer to have the Tron land, right? Where it's like, so they need exactly Tower, that's 3 outs, but they also need Ulamog, so they need both of those cards as opposed to just the Tron land we Spreading Seas. We can move on, maybe. No need for everybody to be confused the whole time, perhaps. Okay, Oblivion Stone. Red White's Blood Moon sure would be handy. Well, we also have Spreading Seas in this version, which would have been actually better than the Blood Moon this game. We just, don't have it. Okay, now we have it. I mean, I'm gonna play it. Which one did they play last? Power Plant. So that. Yeah, we didn't need to fame Worm Coil because we had Solitude. Okay, and then they've got the Blast Zone and the O-Stone, so I think I'm not supposed to play anything else. Maybe I could play other Sentinel. Yeah, I could probably play the other Sentinel. We might get to draw a card. We might not, but we've got a pretty gassed up hand. I think it's probably fine. Thank you, Thunder. Do you feel this deck has something that has longevity or just a meta buster? I think it's got potential. It's a deck I like a lot. It's always hard to tell with these brews. But it is a deck I like a lot. Okay, so they go for Power Plant. They only have, they tapped wrong. They tapped their tower here. So they can't actually pop the O-Stone here. Why not dash Ragavan and cast Seize off Treasure Token? That would be fine, I guess. 2 extra damage, that's probably a bit better. They could just crap map and sword. If they do that, I think I'm pretty fine with it. I get to keep the Feast and Famine in my hand, and I do feel like I need to make them pop the stone as well. Oh, that is a phenomenal draw, I think. Yeah, I think we just go for Kaldra here. It's obviously like a bit bad if my opponent has something else besides the O-Stone activation that's like unbeatable, but it's also true that like I have to do this before they pop the O-Stone, otherwise I can't get the Kaldra into play. Did we pump by not choosing tower for spreading seas? Yeah, we did actually. We did. Morrison, thank you 3 months. Appreciate you. Of course, never punished. Yeah, they messed up by tapping the tower. So, you know, 2 mistakes. One on our end, one on their end. Plays the Blast Zone. Passes back. Yeah, pretty sure we just get in. They can take this and go to 1. I doubt that that's going to be their line, though. We put them to 5 as well. So now we're called to exactly Ulamog. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm going to cast the Ragavan. Because I'm going to upkeep sack the Ranger-Captain, so there's nothing we can Dovin's Veto. So yeah, Wormcoil lets them survive for a turn, but the Kaldra's going to be, they have to chump block with it. Okay, Thragtusk does let them live. Yeah, Thragtusk lets them live here. Don't think I play the Fervent Champion to give them an extra 1-drop to Blast Zone. Although maybe they just take up to 3 here. Yeah, I got 1 Castle Ardenvale. I like Castle a lot in these kind of decks. Didn't want to play it in the red-white because we have Blood Moon. We even get to make a token and still hold a veto. See how relevant that is, I guess. Yeah, so if they take up the Blast Zone, then what we can do is we can play Fervent Champion, equip the Kaldra onto Fervent Champion, and that's going to be lethal too. Assuming they don't have another creature here, we can counter any non-creature. Big Dumbs, thinking 4 months, appreciate ya. Glad you're liking the stream. Do you play the new red land in this or red-white version? I'll cross that bridge when we get to Kamigawa. Maybe not. Like those lands have like higher costs than 3-color decks. For sure. But I'm just like not that focused on Kamigawa yet. I'm reading the spoiler cards. When I get the full spoiler, I'll start building decks, but I'm just more focused on the race for the time being. Yeah, but yeah, those definitely go in the red-white version. You probably play both. Mr. 3000, the movie. Thank you for the Prime Gaming to Tier 1. Hell yeah. What's nice about those lands is they also work through Blood Moon. Like, you get to activate their abilities through Blood Moon, which is pretty cool. Can you tell us what getting a spoiler is like? Yeah, there's a guy in a suit who shows up with a briefcase. Said, here's your spoiler card. Don't tell anybody. Yeah, they give you the card and say, hey, share it on this day. Yeah, but that's it. Just, hey, this is your card. Share it on this day. Don't tell anybody or I'll sue you. Pretty standard stuff. I guess we don't need to move the Kaldra over. Did you do a backflip? I found I got one. No, I was excited, but I don't know. It's not like I finally made it. I finally made it. I got a preview card. I can keep streaming. Okay, 2-0. This is feeling pretty clean. Obviously, just like the Boros deck, I think powerful and strong and consistent. I feel like this list is probably more consistent because you don't have the 4 Blood Moons, which can be awkward to draw multiples of. Like Spreading Seas is lower on the curve. It helps you fight the same kinds of matchups, but is also cantrips, and Teferi is a really good card too, of course. It's a pretty good start. Sentinel into Spreading Seas. Kind of a land-heavy hand, though. I think I'll try it. Yeah, Menino Day also got a ton of trophies recently, too. Trophied this morning as well. I think it's Murktide. Alright, good draw. Do you have Graveyard Hate for Reanimator? I have Graveyard Hate, yeah. It's not just for Reanimator, but I have 3 Rest in Peace in the board. Yeah, my last like 5 trophies have all been with Rakdos Rock. Spreading Seas on the Steam Vents is pretty appealing here. I think let's go for that. Murktide matchup seems tough. It's not. Murktide is a very favorable matchup for the Boros Stoneblade deck. Like I have a very good record as Boros against Jeskai against Murktide. The matchup is better now that you cut Fury and Blood Moon, 2 cards that are not very good against Murktide, and you add Teferi, a card that is very good against Murktide. I can't imagine that the matchup got somehow is somehow bad for you when like you're favored with the other version, and now you're like the same deck with Teferi. Logan, thank you for Twitch Prime. Appreciate you, buddy. Yeah, the Sword of Fire Ices are very good against them. Yeah, the matchup has felt very good. The charms are also scary. Yeah, I'm not saying you can't lose, but I have a really good win rate against the deck. Okay, so there's Murktide Ragavan. And a bunch of mystery cards. I think I'm supposed to go for Sword plus Fervent Champ here. At the very least, I really like resolving the Sword. Oh, come on. Freaking Spell Pierce. Okay, well, let's play Ragavan as a blocker here, I think, because we have 2. What deck do you think is the best one at the moment? I don't know. That'd be $5 a month. Opponent might get Delirium on defense here. But they need to surveil well into it, and one of their 2 cards is Murktide. I think I'm gonna attack. Chump block with Ragavan. Oh no, not chump blocking. Delirium, Ragavan granting Delirium. Very cool. Great line. Okay, so let's try to bait out a counter spell with the Ragavan. Hype, thank you for the 5 months. Appreciate ya. Yeah, but guess why would they ever counter the Ragavan there? Go get the 11 months. Appreciate you, buddy. I saw your comment this morning saying you're almost a mod. Good luck to you getting it today. I also said you wanted predictions to get there. I feel like if you're only like 17k away, I would just wait. I wouldn't be predicting on anything. Okay, probably. So yeah, I guess this does turn the Delirium off Channeler. We also have 4 Solitudes and 2 more Teferis in the deck, so we do have a decent amount of outs to the Murktide here. 1 card left in their hand. I think we just get a Fervent Champion and crash in for 6 after they block the Ragavan. And hope that they have nothing. I have 1.1 million points. What do I do with them? I have a hard time believing you have 1.1 million points and you don't know what any of the channel point redemption options are. Okay, this is not lethal. I even have, I think I can draw Sword of Fire Ice for the win. Equip onto here. Not sure if Stoneforge Mystic is a win because I have to put it on a Fervent Champion. Solitude. Solitude just doesn't do it, right? I exiled them. Yeah, well. It would have done it if they only had the 1. Sexy draw? I mean, not really. We just die. Which hat do you want, Cathal? Alright. Exile this? Nah, yeah. Super dead. Bummer. Maybe they only attack with 1. There's like a 0% chance they only attack with 1. I would say there's very close to a 0% chance they only attack with 1 there. If we're, you know, being honest. Swing with all, they lose if they attack with DRC. No. I think people in the chat might think Solitude is flying. I don't know if that's what's going on. Solitude does not have flying. Probably a little more like 2 endings. You don't really need... Endings like not that good against Murktide. It's okay, obviously. Maybe on the play I even 1-0. Yeah, I think on the play I don't really even need these endings. How's our 4-color matchup? I don't know. I haven't played it with this version. Probably okay. Hand's very close. Turn 1 Forge-Tender is great. Into Rest in Peace, but we just don't have the second lands. Looks like we're mulling to 5. Exile 6 power, take 4, but lifelink versus DRC if they don't have Delirium. Oh, I see. Yeah, maybe that was. I guess that was the line. I didn't find it. I feel like it's very unlikely they attack with the DRC, but like if we swing out, there is a chance. So don't hate that idea. Okay, let's put back Giant Killer, fetch lands. How's that Emrakul getting into play? It's not. You bring in Emrakul against Mill. Why do they attack with the DRC? They might just not think about it. They also like might draw Ragavan, dash Ragavan. Yeah, I agree it wasn't very likely, but it was like a line, right? Rough Mold to 5 on the play. This might be where our run ends, unfortunately. Might not also. That Spell Pierce on our Sword of Fire Ice, like, if I had gone for the quadruple creature line that turn, instead of casting the Sword of Fire Ice, and, like, just tried to play around Spell Pierce, I'd probably win that game. But I feel like it's pretty reasonable to not play around Spell Pierce against Murktide. Like, they don't always play it, and if they do play it, they usually play, like, 1 or 2 copies. I think it's fine to just run into it sometimes. I doubt my opponent brought in Blood Moon against me. Maybe they did, and I'll get got, but they'd rather just get the land. Okay, let's get the Ragavan or the Sophie down. Yeah, leagues are pretty soft on Sundays. On average, yeah. In my experience. Is there a reason to choose Emrakul over the other Eldrazi? Yeah, it has a higher mana value, which is relevant for Tasha's Hideous Laughter. You want the highest mana value possible. Okay, so they have a Murktide here, which is obviously bad. It's an 8/8 as well. I do get to kill their... Oh, right on time. Rest in peace. I do get to kill their Channeler, draw a card, get a treasure token. Maybe I'll draw Solitude. That would be pretty great. Another sword. Probably toast. Got 4 cards in their hand. I have no choice but to hope to draw a Solitude off the sword trigger and hope my opponent has nothing. They don't have nothing, and our streak ends. Which is okay. Okay, on the play. New league. Let's keep this hand. Grazer. Okay. Probably Titan. Could also be the 4-color Omnath deck. Sometimes they play these cards. I think this turn I'll go Ragavan, ending the Grazer. This is definitely a matchup where Blood Moon is a lot better than Spreading Seas. So something to think about when you're selecting this version versus Boros. Is Titan. And yeah, if this was a Blood Moon, we'd be in great shape. We're playing this version today. Not in good shape. All right, 1 land away from double Valakut trigger. They do have it. Killing both of my permanents. But maybe you want to try build without Moon. You could have just a generally better mana curve in this version. Teferi is also like, you know, pretty broken magic card. And it's like, the Spreading Seas are even like, Spreading Seas might actually be better against Tron than Blood Moon. Just because like Blood Moon is too slow on the draw a lot of the time. Oh, also, like, blue gives you Dovin's Veto in the sideboard, so, like, that, like, helps the combo matchups, like, Creativity and Belcher so much. But, like the matchup you lose percentage points in is definitely this one. Which is fine, right? Okay, let's go. 1 card in their hand. We've got some good top decks. Solitude, sort of Fire Ice is okay. Spreading Seas number 2 is very good. They can draw a bounce land to reset these. Oh, well, we drew the Solitude, which we can't quite cast. But I think I'm just gonna get in for 3 here. Two cards in my opponent's hand. No, but this Cavern is naming Beast, so if they don't Titan me this turn, we can Solitude the Dryad, and they don't even have double green. Okay, now they have double green. We get to go Solitude Dryad. Attack for 6. We're attacking for 9 next turn, which is exactly 15. So they're dead next turn if they have nothing. Thoughts on revisiting Is It Breach? I'm really far away from revisiting it just because the deck is so soft to Solitude. Not that Solitude is like ubiquitous or anything, but it's like I feel like any Solitude matchup is just like almost, it's just so tough. It's just so tough to beat. I remember I played against something recently that felt like it had a decent plan for Solitude. Or so not, I think we saw a deck tech for Breach that had a decent plan, but I'm not sure what it was. Like the plan to beat the Breach. I think it was like sideboarding out the Breaches or something. Okay. Lucky, lucky, lucky to win game 1. So let's bring in the Feast and Famine, the Giant Killer. Probably want like 3 Prismatic Endings. I also cut the Wear Tears from the sideboard, which you know, pretty important card for this matchup too. Let's cut the Batterskull and like 3 of the Sentinels. Maybe I'll just play 4th Ending over 1st Sentinel. That card's just not that good in this matchup. Thoughts of revisiting Fiddle? Yeah, I almost played it today. We'll play it again at some point. I'll definitely be playing it again when we get Kamigawa out and we get access to like the new White Castle like in Ganjo or whatever, and then Lion Sash. Thoughts on new Hijichu consumes all cards spoiled. What? If you're asking me about a new card, I don't know like almost any of them by name, so it's always best to give me a brief reminder what the card does. But I don't know what that card does off the top of my head, or if you're asking something else that I feel like I read that weird. Go Fervent Champion into the beast. Sylvie with the $10. Been thinking about Lightnings, Tornado, and Pirate Spellbomb. Rectos, Rack is much better, but lead to more late game potential, a little bit of damage. Cool. If you want to post a link in chat, I'll take a look. I'm definitely very interested in the Rack. What? How could they thread to kill their own Grazer? Have they no shame? It's pretty disgusting to see this just like disregard for Arboreal Grazer here. Yeah, I haven't seen this one. It's a Mythic Saga. Okay, that's cool. Yeah, did Sylvia, if you want to post a link in the chat, I'll take a look. There it is. Thank you. So we'll take a look at this first, then we'll get to the spoiler. So, it is my opinion that I would kind of prefer to see Lurrus as a companion over Liliana in general. I know that is boring, but it is definitely true that Lurrus like really shines in these discard based lists where you're just like able to get them out of resources, and then you get to grab a card advantage engine, which is like why like the Rakdos mid-range deck has been performing so well, largely is because of that dynamic. So that is something I'd recommend, is like cutting the Lilianas, playing Mishra's Bauble, playing Lurrus as a companion. Obviously, if you just don't want to do that, that's totally fine. It's not going to be the end of the world or even like really that big a deal. But I know that Spider Space, another streamer, has played with Rakdos Rack with Kroxa and Lurrus, and it is unfortunately, he says, probably the way to go. You also like potentially can play Urza Saga if you go for the Lurrus variant, which is like a bit more unexplored territory, I suppose. But what's nice about Urza Saga is it actually tutors up the rack. And so if you play Saga here, you can actually cut the Shrieking Afflictions, and then you still have 8 racks, but your 8 racks are all they're all Urza Saga, basically, if that makes sense. So that's probably the version I'd recommend as well, despite it being admittedly kind of boring. What are we doing here? I think I was spreading to use their basic forest first. See what we draw. Another white card for Solitude, so we can play this pretty freely. And I think I just get Maul of the Skyclaves. Attack with both of these. Oh, you're also only playing 3 Inquisition, 3 Thoughtseize. I would like get these Wrench Spines out of there to probably just play 4 of each. Yeah, so I go Minus the Rich Mines, 4 of each of those. 3 Raven's Crime is a lot. I probably would only play 2. Cut the Lilianas, cut the Shrieking Afflictions, and then you get access to 4 Urza Saga alongside like your main deck Pirate Spellbomb. You probably play 4 Racks, 1 Pirate Spellbomb, 1 Nile Spellbomb as your Urza Saga targets, and so it's like that's where you make the cuts here. Oh, you're already playing Saga. Dude, I totally didn't realize you're playing Saga. I'm so embarrassed. I just kind of figured that you weren't when I saw the rack. I just like usually look at lands last. Let's keep this. Okay, then the new I can't see the name. Consumes all. 3 mana. Destroy each non-land permanent with mana value 1 or less. Wow. Exile all graveyards. Exile this saga, then return it to the battlefield transformed as a 3/3 trample. When it deals damage, put a +1 counter on it. When it deals damage to a player, if it's dealt 10 or more damage to that player this turn, they lose the game. Okay, that's a very cool line of text that will never come up in a match of Modern, probably. I'm very excited to get Sylvie, are we playing against you? We're not playing against you, are we? Can there be 2 rack players left in Modern? Modern playable? Yes, this is Modern playable for sure. I even like dare to say this will be like a good option in Modern. I'm not sure exactly where it fits, but this is like at the very least like an absurd sideboard card against Hammer, or like very main deckable, like a Hammer, Death Shadow, Rhinos metagame. Good card. Also, like flickering, like ephemerating this kind of card is pretty cool too. After it transforms, kind of slow though. Regime 20 months, appreciate you. Yeah, I like that card a lot. Jun Sack, yeah, good option for it. My card, well, yeah, I figured. Just teasing you. Kills with Embercleave. Oh, that's a combo, huh? Wow. It's pretty funny, yeah. So a name, sort of Fire and Ice, I imagine. I guess I have 3 Teferis and then 1 ending to deal with that. Okay, so let's just put the Batterskull into play this turn. Hey, hey H, how's it going? Fuck, I can never say your name. Okay, then another. Oh man, it's a Kiki-Jiki reference. I could sack the Fervent Champ, or I could sack the Germ Token, equip onto the Fervent Champ. I think it's just better to sack the Fervent Champ, put in Batterskull, and then I can get Kaldra off of the second Stoneforge Mystic and just hit them with both of my living weapons. So let me do that, then I'll read this Kiki card. Oh, I drew Kaldra for turn. It's always funny when that happens. So I guess I'm tutoring Maul of the Skyclaves, because they still have the needle on Sophie. Spike, obviously, you gotta split the swords. They might needle your Sophie. Think, Spike, think. Feast and Famine giving Pro Black is kind of interesting. Not providing any card advantage is less interesting. They are an Urza Saga deck, because if they're main decking Needle, so I definitely want these Spreading Seas. Can cut them all. Prismatic Endings are probably okay. But do I want them over like anything else? I guess I don't really want these Solitudes. Could be like 1 Solitude. Could be 1 Veto. We'll play 1 Veto over the first Solitude. Okay, so Fate of the Mirror Breaker. We get to finally find out what happened to Kiki-Jiki. 3 mana Saga, make a 2/2 Goblin Shaman token, which whenever this creature attacks, create a treasure token. Okay, it's pretty good. You may discard up to 2 cards. If you do that, draw that many cards. Love that. And then it turns into Reflection of Kiki-Jiki. Create a token of you have to spend a mana, tap it. So spending a mana makes it not go infinite with things. Create a token of copied legendary creature against haste. Wow, I love this card. I love this card. Man, this Kamigawa has been a good set so far. I've been like really, really happy with it so far. It's been, oof, it's been great. Look at the second art. Is it? Do we? Yeah. I guess like we didn't find out what happened to the Mirror Breaker. We still don't, but man, the art's really good. Yeah, we talked about Hizutsu, who consumes all. I know I'm butchering that name, but I also feel like I would love. I'm not like really that into altars, but a secret lair or getting this altar to be the Demon of Hatred from Sekiro would just be so freaking badass. Human, I take a look at decks for either $10 or a channel point redemption option or 2 gifted subs. Can't look at everybody's list, unfortunately. There's no haste on the Kiki. That's pretty bad. Well, when it transforms, it doesn't leave the battlefield, does it? I guess that's something I need to understand about these cards. Like, do they actually leave the battlefield when they transform? Hey, exiled and returned. Yes, they do. Okay, so that does make it a degree worse. But it's also like you get a lot of value. Like you get a lot of value off this card. You know what I mean? Like you get you get the 2/2 token, and then you get to filter your hand, which is like pretty strong with Red and 6, or other cards like that, and then you get this flip side, so it's like a pretty like strong 3-for-1, or at least close to it a lot of the time, I imagine. And the base with the 2-pack, I imagine is that for the is that a gifted deck tech to Human? So far from the boost splash is worth it. Well, we're currently 3-1 on the day. I feel like we've been generally running pretty hot, though. So you gotta factor that in, of course. So we have 3 Teferis and 4 Prismatic Endings to draw into here. Iovine with the 16 months, appreciate you. Then Elevation with the 8. And then base, that was for... Sorry to keep up. Yes, thank you, base. Okay, so I can take a look at the Barter Proc list. Let's discard the Feasted Famine, I think. Yeah, need to draw one of these soon, huh? Yeah, it's gonna be, some discard fodder for Liliana. Maybe I should discard Batterskull instead. They grant for the 14 months. Appreciate you, buddy. Sack Ranger. Why? Okay, Martyr Proc. Esper Sentinel, Martyr of Sands. Sarah's Ascendant, Solitude. Pretty cool list, I'll say. Pretty cool list. Let's see what we draw here. It's a lot to soak in with the Martyr Proc list. So I like the Sentinel. I like the being in a Ranger Captain. I feel like both of those things make a lot of sense to me. I think I'll actually discard Ragavan. Then put in the sword and equip immediately. I guess I'll just put in Kaldra end of turn. I would play probably the second Forge-Tender in the sideboard. That card's pretty good, and I think you will oftentimes want to fetch 2 over the course of a game against like the Ragavan decks particularly. Well, I guess I should have... Well, I guess I need to do this anyways, because if they ultimate... I don't think they're going to ultimate. I think they're going to plus, but... The ultimate, like, they can split the Mystic, which is basically the same as splitting the Kaldra. And I guess we are in pretty bad shape. I want to empty my hand. Gideon of Allied Zendikar is not a playable modern card in the sideboard, in the main deck, anywhere. It's really underpowered. It's just like, it's okay against exactly blue-white control. It's not good against any other deck. It's just not a card you can afford to play. I would probably play Rest in Peace. I know that it shuts off a few of your cards, but Rest in Peace is like really important to beating, specifically Living In, which is pretty popular. I guess you have the Void Mirrors, but Rest in Peace is stronger. I like the Kamiya False Hope a lot. I would play a Giant Killer to tutor off Ranger-Captain to kill cards like Murktide and kill creatures with Colossus Hammer. Hex Parasite is fine. It's maybe a little bit too cute, to be honest. I don't know that you need all these Path Exiles when you have 4 Solitude either. It feels like too many Path Exiles. You can also play Snow-Covered Plains and play Onthanice, and Onthanice is, you know, maybe a better card than Path Exile. Yeah, I would just play like more Ranger of Eoses in the sideboard for like the grindier matchups if that's something you're interested in. Yeah, we have 4 Prismatic Endings in the deck at the moment, and then 3 Teferi Time Ravelers. Oh, pretty easy to sack that pile. Because I needed 3 lands to bounce the bridge. That being said, my opponent can like cast Kaldra off of the Voidwalker. Oh my gosh. Just a turn too late, huh? I think, yeah, just sadly, a turn too late. I'm just like super dead to them casting the Kaldra. Elder Jeep Fiend, good username, taking 3 months. Appreciate Jim. Play it out, I guess. I think Death and Taxes will ever find its way back into Modern. Well, here's like a really hard band-aid to rip off all the Death and Taxes players. Something you might not be ready to hear, but like Death and Taxes has kind of never been a good deck in Modern. I remember it won like an SCG Invitational, and like the winner of the deck, or the winner of that tournament, said, "Do not play this deck. It is unplayable." And so it's just like it's kind of hard for me to give the archetype like this glowing review or talk about it like coming back to the format. Especially what's also always like stun locked me about Death and Taxes. This hat's really uncomfortable. What's always stun locked me about Death and Taxes is that like people play it, but it, as if you want like a like White Weenie style or a you know, small creatures that are disruptive and tax your opponent. Like, Taxes has always been, like, a worse deck at doing that than Humans. Like, Humans gets to play more disruptive creatures that can have a lower curve, they get to have better nut draws, and I don't really know, like, what Taxes decks get to do better than Humans. I've never really understood that. That being said, I'm not saying that, like, there will never be a Death and Taxes list that... Like, I'm not saying that you'll never see Death and Taxes top 8 tournament ever. But I am saying that the archetype has always been really weak in Modern, and, like, that has not changed. I don't, like, really foresee it changing anytime soon. We put, like, 3 vetoes on the play. So that's, you know, a tough Band-Aid to rip off, but one that I think we needed to rip off, you know what I mean? I think I like Batterskull just because like a lot of times they can pressure your life total with their rack effects, and so having Batterskull like gaining life is important. I'm gonna keep this. Hard to mulligan in this matchup. I did not see the Rat Saga, no. So that's my take on the archetype of Death and Taxes. I'm sorry if that was too harsh for anybody to hear. That's just my opinion. Yeah, modern is definitely so open that you can kind of play whatever. Like you can play Death and Taxes and like it'll be fine. But it won't be that good. But it'll be fine. Okay, pretty sure I get Fervent Champ, so if they have Liliana, I get to kill their Liliana. Yeah, the D&D risk I know the Discord stands are coming in droves. I've unleashed the river. Okay, really odd that they cast neither of these cards last turn. I guess they're just kind of setting up for this 1-2 punch. Maybe. Yeah, like Modern's definitely in the spot like where you can have a winning record with anything. You can have a winning record with Death and Taxes, but like having a winning record with Death and Taxes does not change like these dynamics, like these unfortunate dynamics for Taxes that I've pointed out. Like these things still, these are all problems for the Taxes deck to overcome. You have a winning record with Ooze Tribal? I mean, depending on like what you mean by Ooze Tribal, can you put an Ave in the sideboard of Twiddlestorm and call it Ooze Tribal? So now my opponent has access to Dovin's Veto, which they can use on my Batterskull if they don't attack. I was 17 in 3 and 4 leagues. I placed 21st. Large Town DT. Yeah, I'm not saying that you can't have a winning record with Taxes, but like people are good. People have lists that are finely tuned for the metagame, but the archetype as a whole, I do think, is underpowered and like also gains a ton of percentage points because like nobody ever thinks about playing against it. You know what I mean? that's kind of like a big reality as far as Taxes decks go. Is that like you gain so many percentage points because nobody thinks about like preparing for your deck. I think I like dashing Ragavan because they've got the veto up. Obviously, like if they discard the Batterskull though, it could be a bit awkward. But they also have Urborg in play, so I can cast like, yeah, I can cast anything, which is really nice here. Yeah, I could sack Ranger-Captain to resolve the Batterskull, but I think that was going to be my line before I drew the Ragavan. I just went to Ragavan instead. Okay, we lost to 2-0 last league. Currently 4-1 on the day. Pretty strong record. What if you have Teferi in play? Then you can cast sorceries, but you can't cast creatures at instant speed. Playing against Oops All Spells. A matchup that is pretty abysmal game 1. Gets a bit better in sideboard games. I'm pretty sure that I'm supposed to grab a Batterskull here and try to survive that initial onslaught. Drake at 26 months, but then we decided that's historical. The Dovin's Vetoes help a little bit in this matchup, but not as much as they would against decks like Belcher. But you also have the Rest in Peace, of course. Can we get an on-screen timer for the end of the season? We could. Timers are a bit weird, to be honest, because you have to actually use like a browser timer. But it would be doable. Okay, yeah, so we go for Sophie this turn. Next turn we can go Batterskull Equip. Yeah, them not having an artifact ramp piece was huge here. Batterskull Equip, gain 7, get to block the Vengevines, and then we can get Maul of the Skyclaves, fly over the Vengevines, pro blue through the Narcomoebas, and maybe that's enough to kill them. Yeah, we might actually win game 1 here. Assuming they don't have... Yeah, they can't Belcher me next turn. Winning game 1... although, hold on, they get to gain so much life off the Creeping Chills. This is maybe not enough damage. It's 9, but then another 4. Then they gain 12 up to 15. Yeah. They could Belcher me. They can't Belcher me next turn. They're 1 mana short. Why would they? Why would they shock or bolt themselves here? So next turn I have 11 damage, which is going to be too short. Thoracle in hand? No, it's not. It's not in the hand. But yeah, that would have been the reason why. They cast Narcomoeba instead of Salvage Titan. Oh, all their Narcomoebas are in their hand. That's very interesting. They could mess up. They could mess up and send in with all the Vengevine creatures. If they do that, I win. Oh, I could also... Wait, does Teferi win? Yeah, Teferi wins here. Teferi wins. Because they can't upkeep cast their Memories Journey to put Thoracle on top. So we should win here. Unless they have Pact of Negation in their hand. But they don't usually main deck packs, right? Second Sophie is 13 by itself. The problem is they have Vengevine to block. So I would need Maul. I would need Maul of the Skyclaves to... fly over the Vengevines, but then I can't also Sophie. What a wild game. Winning game 1 is a huge deal, of course. They can't pay for Pact. Oh, that's true. Yeah, that's a good point. Good point. So ending to exile their artifact land mana is pretty important, I feel. I think the Spreading Seas are not that good in this matchup. I think I'll trim one of the Sophies. I guess I like Batterskull more than Kaldra. I don't know that I had that opinion before that last match. Could maybe play just 3 Prismatic Endings. I feel like the endings are pretty good though. The Maul was also something I wanted to tutor there. I feel like I don't usually want it in this matchup. I'm gonna cut it. Isn't Ranger bad? No, I don't know if I would say Ranger's bad. Maybe it is. I mean, at the very least, you know, what are we playing instead of Ranger? It still finds us creatures. The upkeep sack is a little relevant, not that relevant. Do you ever want Maul in that matchup? I wanted Maul that last game. Like, I did consider tutoring it. Like, flying over the Vengevine seemed somewhat relevant to me. Yeah, I think I'll play the Maul over the Ranger-Captain. Ranger stops upkeep, Oracle top. No, they just respond to the sack. I'll trim a Ranger-Captain. I think I'm on board for that. What's my opinion on Oops? It's a very powerful and consistent deck that is weak to Sideboard cards, but wins a lot of game 1s. I also think a lot of players are probably, at this point, a lot of Oops pilots are probably pretty good at navigating through hate, and those players are probably winning a lot. Okay, no Rest in Peace. I think I'll try this hand, though. Dude, Stintos. I think Stintos are pretty good, because they have so many... 2-mana artifact ramp. You often get to draw a card of Sentinel. It's also a creature that holds a sword. You know, they bring in Disruption. Sentinel taxes their mana. I think it's fine. Yeah, Dovin's Veto not countering their creatures is a big problem, obviously. Alright, dead. Do you like this version better than Boros? Too early to tell. This is my second league. We're currently 4-1 with the deck though. It definitely like I feel like with this version you lose percentage points against specifically Titan, and then you gain percentage points in most other matchups. I feel so. I'm thinking that this is the best version, but I'm not 100% sure to be honest. Okay, game 3. On the play of game 3, which is obviously huge. I think our configuration's decent. Maybe I should have tried to mulligan more aggressively to Rest in Peace that game. This game I don't know that I need to though, where I can go turn 1 Sentinel. I get to actually interact with their artifact mana a lot better this game. Sentinel very likely to draw me some cards here. What does Veto do? Veto helps you a lot against Belcher and Creativity, 2 matchups that were pretty tough for Boros. Yeah, I think Oops is a very good deck. I think I play the champion and then tap Stevens here. I've got a lot of answers to artifact mana here, and I'd really like them to cast a piece of artifact mana so I can ending it or Teferi it, get to draw a card off the Sentinel. Stoneforge Mystic, also cool. Yeah, I think I just Teferi bounce it, because I'm pretty interested in them spending their mana to cast it again next turn, when I've got ending in hands. Teferi also helps me, obviously, against Pact of Negation, Veil of Summer, these kind of cards. Sadly, I don't have Lion equipment to tutor up for Graveyard Hate here. Lion Sash, yeah. Forgot my own preview card's name. Bolting the Agadeem's Awakening. So they can pay for Sentinel. Their life total is getting pretty low. So we're definitely ending the Pintat Prism. And then I think put them to 8. I mean, I think we just have to hope they don't have untapped land plus creature here, unfortunately. And we can grab Feast and Famine. Fire Ice. How much? Fire Ice is a bit more damage. I think I don't see lethal next turn. I only see I think I can only put them to 1. So I guess I get Fire Ice so that I can maybe find Rest in Peace. Maul, isn't it 7 with the Stoneforge Mystic attack? Yeah, it's 7 with either Kaldra or the Stoneforge Mystic attack. Looks like they have it. Tough stuff, man. Ugh, I don't know. I feel like these keeps were fine. But maybe they weren't. We had like a lot of looks at Rest in Peace. But maybe I was supposed to mulligan a bit more aggressively. How about keeping blockers?